Welcome to Golden Blue, everybody, home of the college football fan. And don't forget about the checklist. Hat check, sunglasses check, Pepsi check, notes check, sources check, and thick skin is a check. And don't forget to sing gear to represent your team and yourself in my background. Send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina, 29657, and get yourself a shout out. On to the next video. In case you're wondering, these are the teams that we don't have represented for the mini helmets. As you can see, we actually have quite a few big brands that's not represented here at Golden Blue. I do know that Nevada and Cincinnati are on their way as far as mini helmet representation. So get your team represented here on Golden Blue. Hey, you already know what time it is, so might as well sit down, brace yourself, and buckle up because you are entering the speculation zone. Sorry guys, once again, this will not be a Get It Gang video idea, but keep your comments coming because you never know. I might use your comment in my next video, so leave video ideas in the comment section of my videos. No, but today this is about the value of the teams that the Big 12 could possibly have a chance of getting. Teams included on this list are Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, Wake Forest, Boston College, Pitt, Louisville, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, San Diego State, Fresno State, Duke, Washington State, and Oregon State. I'm not putting Oregon and Washington on the table. I think they're more likely to go to the Big Ten, and it would be a no-brainer that Oregon and Washington would be at the top of this list. So not counting Oregon and Washington, who are the most valuable teams that the Big 12 could actually get that's actually plausible? We will start at the bottom. Number 15. This is where Duke comes in. Duke has terrible TV ratings. That's the bottom line. They are dead last in the ACC when it comes to TV viewership in football. And on top of that, Duke really adds nothing without North Carolina. In order for Duke to be valuable, North Carolina would have to be coming with Duke, and North Carolina is not coming to the Big 12. So that's why Duke is all the way at the bottom at number 15. Yes, you would help the eastern side of the Big 12, but not by much. Coming in at number 14, staying on the east side, Wake Forest. They are actually second to last in ACC viewership. And for a double whammy, that was while they were having some of the best football years in their entire history. So Wake Forest has been having some of the most success they've ever had in football, and yet they're still second to last in viewership in the ACC. That's not a good sign, and they really don't add much value to the Big 12, but just a little bit more than Duke. Number 13, Boston College, still staying on the east side. They're actually 12th in ACC viewership. The bottom line for Boston College is Boston is a pro sports town, so you're really not gaining much by adding Boston College. Would it help the east side? Yeah, slightly, but not by much, and that's why they're on the bottom of this list as well. Coming in at number 12, and Oregon State fans, you're not going to like me for this, but I do have Oregon State at number 12. They came in 9th in Pac-12 viewership, and that's not counting USC. Now, they do grab the Pacific time zone, and that's why I have them above Boston College, Wake Forest, and Duke. But their TV viewership kept them from being higher on my list. But it was a toss-up between number 12 and number 11. But coming in at number 11 is actually Colorado. They came in 10th as far as Pac-12 viewership, not counting USC. However, I will say this. Hiring Coach Prime has increased brand worth significantly. In other words, Colorado is way more valuable now that they hired Coach Prime. Now, I understand once he's gone, they could go back to bottom of the barrel. But I'm talking about teams' worth or universities' worth right now, this day and time as it relates to the Big 12. So I think Colorado is just a little bit more valuable than Oregon State right now because they hired Coach Prime and their brand worth is significantly higher right now. But because they came in dead last in TV viewership in the Pac-12, I had to keep them out of my top 10. Coming in at number 10, Fresno State. Fresno State's a wild card. I will give them that. They would grab the Pacific time zone for the Big 12. They have a great fan base, and it would also grab the San Joaquin Valley market footprint in the state of California. So you're getting a solid footprint in the state of California. Pacific time zone, you grab the San Joaquin Valley, and Fresno State does get good fan base support. So I think Fresno State would be a good addition for the Big 12. Coming in at number 9, and once again, this was a back and forth between number 10, number 9. I almost put Arizona at number 10 and Fresno State at number 9. It just turned out this way. So number 9 is Arizona. They came in 6th in Pac-12 viewership, and that's not counting USC. If you get Arizona, you do grab the Tucson market. You also get the Pacific time zone in the regular season of the college football season. And on a side note, if you get Arizona, you also get Arizona State. Now, I'm leaving that on the side, and I'm trying to grade each team on their own merit. So I think Arizona does bring something to the table for the Big 12. Next up, number 8, San Diego State. For San Diego State, if you bring them in, you're grabbing a solid Southern Cal footprint. Pacific time zone, of course, Brett Yormark wants that. And San Diego State has proven they're willing to spend money on the football program. They just built a new football stadium. I think it's expandable up to 55,000. So they have proven that they are invested in their football program. Great fan base, and I think they would bring some money to the Big 12. Coming in at number 7, this is where I have Pitt. They came in 9th in ACC viewership. I think there's big money-making potential with that rivalry with West Virginia, a.k.a. the Backyard Brawl. That's what increases Pitt's value when it comes to the Big 12. The Big 12 already has West Virginia. You bring in Pitt, you're locking in the Backyard Brawl. And Pitt does have a decent fan base. Not great, but it's decent. Coming in at number 6, the other Arizona school, Arizona State. They came in 5th in Pac-12 viewership, not counting USC. And if you bring in Arizona State, you're actually grabbing the Phoenix market, which is a little bit bigger than the Tucson market. Well, a lot bigger. You're also grabbing the Pacific time zone in the college football season because they don't have daylight savings time. So I think Arizona State does bring in more value than Arizona. Now, when it comes to basketball, Arizona, of course, is the better brand. But this is about football. Football drives conference realignment. Now we're in the top 5. Number 5, Virginia Tech. Surprisingly, they came in only 8th in ACC viewership, but Virginia Tech has been down when it comes to college football. Still better than Pitt, and also you'd be locking in that Black Diamond Trophy rivalry, and that would be some big-time money-making potential for the Big 12. I think Virginia Tech does add some decent value to the Big 12. That's why they're in my top 5. Number 4 might surprise you, and that's Washington State. I'm surprised that not as many people are talking about Washington State. Washington State came in 4th in Pac-12 viewership, not counting USC. You're locking in that Pacific time zone. That's more value right there. They do have the 25th largest fan base in the nation. They have a very large fan base. And don't forget about this. Old Crimson, the flag for the university, has been repped on every single game day on ESPN, and they do plan on continuing to rep Old Clemson on every game day going forward. So exposure for the Big 12. So I would honestly not be surprised if the Big 12 was talking to Washington State because they do bring a lot of value. Coming in at number 3, Utah. 3rd in the Pac-12 TV viewership, not counting USC. And on top of that, you would be locking in the holy war between Utah and BYU. Great rivalry, would make a lot of money for the Big 12, and Utah brings in a lot of TV viewership. Number 2, this one might surprise you as well. Syracuse. Syracuse came in 6th in ACC viewership, but they do have the largest fan base in the ACC, not counting Notre Dame. Untapped potential up there in Syracuse. If Syracuse started getting really good in football, that TV viewership would go through the roof. They have a massive, massive fan base. And that's why I have Syracuse at number 2 as far as the most valuable brand that the Big 12 can get. But they are not number 1. Number 1 is actually Louisville. And I'm sure that surprises a lot of people as well. Louisville came in 4th in ACC TV viewership, averaging over 2 million per year when it comes to views. That's a lot of views. Louisville, of course, would help West Virginia and Cincinnati, so there's value right there. Louisville has a very large fan base. Louisville hasn't been great in football, and yet they still drew over 2 million views per year. That's pretty good right there. Imagine if Louisville was actually really good in football. Louisville would bring the most value out of any of these possible teams for the Big 12. So if the ACC does dissolve and fall apart, which I think it will, the Big 12 needs to look at Louisville first and Syracuse second. And then you can look at the Pac-12 and get Utah and Washington State. I mean, you can get those now if they're interested because the Pac-12 is falling apart. But when it comes to value, they're actually under Syracuse and Louisville. So y'all let me know in the comments section. Number 1, were you surprised at this list? Where would you have these teams ranked when it comes to their value if they join the Big 12? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next show.